Hello everyone and welcome back to the fifth and final weekend of the 24-25 Optegra Championship, where you join myself, Ryan Sipple, alongside Owen Swift for Hull and East Yorkshire versus Leeds Dynamos. Owen, how are you?
I'm very good, Matt. How are you?
Very well.
Good.
Can I say a huge congratulations for making history in game week 5 of the championship, becoming the joint record holder for the player with the most goals for different clubs. 5 different clubs you've registered a National League goal for, matched only by Hannah Hindley of Muscle Warriors. So we're just discussing Teesside Steel, Middlesbrough, Bolton Bullets,
and Percy Headley Panthers.
And Percy Headley.
Not in that order, but yeah. It's a sign of getting old, I think. So it's not really much to celebrate.
You're the James Milner of power chair football,
I suppose.
But the irony is that in game week 5, just an hour or two ago, Hannah Hindley, who's also registered a goal for 5 different clubs, she's yet to score for her current side, Muscle Warriors. And they, knowing that this record was in jeopardy, they put her on a penalty kick, which she unfortunately missed. So for the time being, unless you're going to switch championship sides next season, you better hope all penalties result in missed opportunities.
You might know more than me, but is there a rule where you can't coach and play in the Premier League? So say if I was, because I'm coach of Teesside, I can't coach Teesside and play for Steel if they get promoted.
No, it's brought in recently.
Yeah.
So what is the option then? To go with Teesside Steel permanently, or to abandon your playing career and stay with Teesside?
I mean, any championship teams wanting to, it'll do me a favour. I could be the first person to score 6 goals for 6 different clubs. So if any championship teams, if Steel do get promoted, hit me up. Now, because I do enjoy playing, obviously, but I do enjoy coaching as well now.
It's a nice balance.
Yeah, I find coaching a bit more rewarding maybe than playing. I think when you've been doing it for so long, it sort of all blurs into one maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one, the Yorkshire derby.
Absolutely. Let's go through the squads very quickly. Hull and East Yorkshire have Luke Brennan, Kai Gill, Aston Walls, Callum Jefferson, Joel Rothery, Harrison Smith and Emma Hodson. And their Yorkshire rivals, Leeds Dynamos, comprised of Seb Copeland, Jack McNaughton, Reece Stewart, Liam Chadwick, Jack Humphreys and Hayden Lambert. I've watched them both already today on commentary. Hull and East Yorkshire with a brilliant 2-1 victory over Nottingham Forest. Kai Gill was sensational in that one, so no doubt they'll be looking to him to influence their performance here. And Leeds Dynamos succumbed to a 2-0 defeat to GBG Knights, but they did get a really good win earlier against Manchester United. So 1 win, 1 loss to start game week 5 of the Optegra Championship. Your prediction, please.
It's going to be a tight one. Leeds on paper should win it, but we know Hull rise to the occasion often, so I'm going 2-1 Leeds or a 1-1 affair.
That would very much please Hull. They've already got a 4-point buffer over Manchester City and Nottingham Forest in 10th and 11th respectively, but any points that they can get to claw themselves away from them danger spots would be to the pleasure of Hull and East Yorkshire. Leeds Dynamos just smack bang in the middle of our 12-team division in 6th, 31 points from their 19 games. Will probably not have enough to make up any ground for a potential playoff position, but they're looking to end the season on a high. Thumbs up from our respective keepers, Aston Walls and Hayden Lambert. And we are officially underway to go through the squads as they start. Aston Walls, Kai Gill, and that's almost an immediate chance for Seb Copeland, who capitalised on that Aston Walls ball. Kai Gill well positioned, but early warning signs. But Aston Walls, Kai Gill, Joel Rothery and Callum Jefferson, and Jack McNaughton fires it across the box to Seb Copeland, already knocking on the door. Leeds are comprised of Hayden Lambert, Jack Humphreys, Jack McNaughton and Seb Copeland.
Yeah, it's been a great start from Leeds to say the least. It's been it was certainly nearly my prediction, straight down the window with a tight game. But yeah, Leeds really starting the better off. Seb will be a little bit disappointed with what he did in this corner, maybe, but yeah, hopefully it stays like this.
They had very little success in attack against GBG Knights. Already it looks like they're more clinical, more assertive, and are picking their passes in this final third.
I think it helps when teams play each other quite a lot. Obviously Leeds and Hull regionally play each other, well, not this season, Hull dropped down to the Championship, but they know each other and they've played in the same division for a lot of years.
Corner kick for Leeds Dynamos to be taken by the dead ball specialist, that is Jack McNaughton. Thank you to all that are tuning in across the stream. Into Jack Humphreys, cushioned over to Seb Copeland. Really nice play from Jack Humphreys, who's really increased his level this season. Become one of the most important names on that team sheet. Good pass to Jack McNaughton across his chair. That's a beautiful pass, but a good interception from Kai Gill. Otherwise, Seb Copeland would have had an open goal to aim at. Jack McNaughton into Jack Humphreys, an attempt thwarted by Kai Gill. Live on Court B, Manchester United take on AFC Bournemouth Warriors. Jack McNaughton definitely looking for Seb Copeland. There's a big gap for him to pick out his number 4 winger. Jack Humphreys will probably act as the screen, as the dummy. It meets its intended target. Effort sent back across the face of goal. Sometimes I just want to see players be a little bit more selfish
and go for it. There's been 2 gaps there where he could have scored for himself.
Once again, can they replicate it? I'd like to see Seb Copeland attempt an effort, be nice and assertive himself. If the ball finds its way over to him, it just nicks off the side of Jack Humphreys' chair. You can see the intention. Execution wasn't necessarily there on the second chance.
I think Hull will go into this game a little bit. It'll be important for Leeds to get a goal before too long.
The longer it remains 0-0, the more it plays into Hull's hands, and if they can break away, like we're seeing now, as Hayden Lambert's going to be tested for the first time, 4 minutes in.
From Hull?
Absolutely. So he was part of their promotion run to the Premiership, and I think he was joint top goal scorer as well, or very close at the top, so was fairly prolific when Hull managed to secure promotion. Humphreys down to McNaughton. Slightly too square for Seb Copeland. It's fairly relentless pressure. Should there be any goals on Court B, that will bring them straight away. But as you can see, currently 0-0. opportunity here for Hull. A lot of their success in their earlier 2-1 victory over Nottingham Forest came via kind of dead balls and set pieces, mainly when Kai Gill had responsibility, had such fantastic accuracy and power to locate his teammates. Unfortunately, on that occasion, doesn't meet the ball. Out for a goal kick. They've got to make opportunities like that count, because I suspect they'll be few and far between, just based on what we've seen in the opening 5 minutes and the press and the pressure of Leeds Dynamos. Humphreys. Over to McNaughton. Cleared by Kai Gill.
Is that a 2-on-1? It's over the years been weird to see how Hull and East Yorkshire have adapted. With Kai Gill obviously predominantly middleman, but sometimes sits back and goal, and then he had a spell in goal, and obviously Luke Brennan helping out and on the wing, and
He scored a sensational goal earlier, Luke Brennan. The assist from Kai Gill, the time in the execution, and that makes Luke Brennan the leading goal scorer in Hull's history as a club. So it shows his impact across several years, probably well upwards of 10, 13 years.
yeah, he's been
I think him and Kai Gill were founding members, founding
I
players.
was thinking he must have been there from the start, him and Kai Gill. And they had a sports hall built in Hull, which is a fantastic venue.
The Alam.
Yeah, the Alam Sports Centre, and you obviously streamed one of the cup games.
Yeah,
from
it is special.
And I remember.
This is an opportunity. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
Carry on.
It came out of anywhere, but came out of nowhere, that one. They'd asked Kai, because he was a student at Hull Uni, they'd asked for his input on what disabled people would like and what they would need at this sports centre, and it's really, really good for that, for the change in place and everything. So fair play to Hull for doing that. Jack Humphreys with a swing and a miss hit, but it's nearly made it to its intended target. Seb Copeland
Flicked over to Jack Norton. I think the pick-off would have been the better option there. Just allows Aston Walls to close the angle and the space.
That's a great ball. Oh, nearly wrong-footed.
Sigh of relief from Kai Gill there. I think he wasn't quite expecting the snapped effort.
Kind of wrong-footed him in a way.
Jack McNaughton to deliver this set piece. Jack Humphreys, the only real option due to how deep Seb Copeland is. Over to Jack Humphreys, guides it goal bound, cleared by Aston Walls, and it's going to find its way over the line. A really unfortunate goal for them to concede, considering how defensively sound they've been. It's one of the easiest goals Seb Copeland's ever likely to score.
I don't know if it was a Aston Walls own goal or
I've just watched it back, and
gone to top it to VAR over.
I'll let the officials properly analyse that. They're always fairly favourable to the goal scorer.
Yeah,
They
we
don't
really
they
want
don't
to see
like to give own goals if they can attribute it to a certain player. Either way, Hull and East Yorkshire 0, Leeds Dynamos 1. 10.5 minutes into this first half. You may have heard roars of jubilation at the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. That is because the team rooted to the bottom of the standings. AFC Bournemouth Warriors have taken a 1-goal lead over Manchester United. What a huge result that would be.
Yeah, it was a big roar, wasn't it, when the goal went in?
Whilst they won't probably have enough to claw their way out of that relegation zone or jeopardy zone at the bottom, every little bit of confidence that they can take from this final weekend will no doubt enhance their chances of being successful in the Championship playoffs scheduled on Saturday, June the 14th. That same day, whoever finishes third in the Championship will play whoever finishes 10th in the Premiership for one single Premiership placement.
Seems to be all Bournemouth on Court B, as it's been predominantly all Leeds. Read your mind there, Ryan.
Humphreys down to Seb Copeland. Good pass back, exchanged across the face of goal. Left by Kai Gill. Goal kick.
Aston will be disappointed in that. Oh, it's a heart in the mouth moment for Hull at the back there. It's a well placed pass by Seb Copeland.
Tongue twister.
It certainly was. It's just not found Jack McNaughton at the back stick, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, interesting decision from Aston Walls. Just angled his chair, which allowed that ball to go through, but
I think in a way he maybe left it on purpose, just because if the way his chair was positioned, if he'd have touched it, it could have been an own goal.
Yeah. Aston Walls now can't quite pick out Callum Jefferson on the left. Beyond one or two touches in the first 5 or so minutes, Hayden Lambert has had very little to do in this game. Testament to the role that's being performed in front of him, most notably by Jack Humphreys.
Oh, ball. Oh.
He's having a really bright game, Seb Copeland.
Yeah,
gets a thumbs up, a sign of appreciation from Jack Humphreys, but had Jack McNaughton just been a little bit more advanced, even just 30 centimetres, it would have been a brilliant goal to double their lead.
Yeah, it's great to see Seb enjoying his football and been really influential for this Dynamo side. Oh, it's a great hit. Great idea by number 15.
Gill into Jefferson, intercepted by Jack Humphreys, trying to find Joel Rothery, another player who's had little to no involvement in this fixture. Good assertive pick off from Kai Gill, over to Callum Jefferson, trying to bypass Jack Humphreys. A lot easier said than done. As I've said on all the other games I've had the pleasure of commentating, At the conclusion of game week 5, we'll do as we always do, run the team of the weekend poll. But within the week, we will be opening up the end of season award voting, where you can vote for your player, young player, team, fantasy team, head coach, and a few others. All winners will be announced at our evening do at the King Power Stadium. Just when I'm thinking about fantasy team of the seasons, I would definitely have Jack Humphreys in the back of my mind. Shame he missed that game week 3. His absence was sorely felt, but he's back now, firing on all cylinders. McNaughton, yeah, really nice. They do put some nice passes together, and the experience of Seb Copeland knows to just leave that as they usher Jack McNaughton over to take it. Jack Humphreys on the edge. Seb Copeland at the far post. Probably going to go via Humphreys over to Copeland, but Kai Gill will have the responsibility of restricting that opportunity, which
cheeky.
That was really nice. Even I was sold. I thought his intention was to just try and pick out Seb Copeland on the far side, but just a deft touch from Jack Humphreys. And just as I was saying about him being a consideration for my fantasy team of the season, he just showed pure class and quality to guide that effort over the line. Nice assist from Jack McNaughton. 17.5 minutes in. Hull and East Yorkshire 0. Leeds Dynamos 2.
You said that you were sold. I'll be honest, I think even Jack sold himself there. I think he was going for the...
he will 100% said it was say it's intentional. Hull and East Yorkshire going to make a substitute. Liam Chadwick on. Seb Copeland off. Reece Stewart on. Jack McNaughton off. Kai Gill. Cleared by Hayden Lambert, very rare touch, and it could be an assist.
Oh.
Ricochets off the right-hand post, and a very fortunate deflection off of Aston Wall's chair. I think Hayden Lambert would have been delighted had he got an assist. But that just shows...
It was a great flick from Seb Copeland.
He's having a brilliant game, Seb Copeland, as is Jack Humphreys. Really cute pass there, intended for Liam Chadwick with the back of his bumper. On commentary, on podcasts, I've commended the levels and that Jack Humphreys is exhibiting. He is just the heartbeat of this side and is clearly thriving from that added responsibility. Final 30 seconds. Fairly one-way traffic. Half-time on court B. If that is correct, AFC Bournemouth Warriors 2, Manchester United 0. That would be the biggest result of AFC Bournemouth Warriors season. And as already mentioned, it's probably not enough to get them out of the jeopardy spots. They'd need to secure points against Teesside and Man City tomorrow to be in kind of contention or consideration of safety. But it's just great to see their resilience and determination. They've faced a lot of challenges on and off the court this season, but the fact that they're still here, they're still competing, and they're still competitive tells you everything you need to know about their characters. As Jack Humphreys into additional time puts it over to Seb Copeland, who's going to line up a shot, pass over to Liam Chadwick. Does so well at disguising his intention, Jack Humphreys. Very compact set piece that almost sets Hull and East Yorkshire away, but the referee had blown his whistle to signal half-time. Hull and East Yorkshire 0, Leeds Dynamos 2. Thank you to all that are joining myself and Owen. We'll be back very shortly for the second half. Hello everyone and welcome back to this fixture between Hull and East Yorkshire and Leeds Dynamos, currently separated by 2 strikes for Leeds. A great half of football for them. Jack Humphreys opening the scoring before what I can now see has been overturned to be an Aston Walls own goal. Seb Copeland won't be too happy. If you're going by the letter of the law, it would have been an own goal. But he was so close to the action, so key to applying that pressure and being the penultimate player involved. Either way, it's a good lead that they take into the second half. AFC Bournemouth Warriors looking to secure only their second win of the season, rooted to the bottom of the Optegra Championship standings. They're just looking to end the season on a high. A win there would put them on to 7 points, so still 4 points adrift of Nottingham Forest and Manchester City in 11th and 10th respectively. So probably too much for them to make up ground for safety, but they'll still have an opportunity to earn their spot in next season's 25-26 Championship campaign via that playoffs. Got the thumbs up from Hayden Lambert, we've got the thumbs up from Joel Rothery, and we will soon be underway. A very different looking side for Hull and East Yorkshire that has begun this second half. Firstly, Luke Brennan on in place of Aston Walls, Joel Rothery on in place of Callum Jefferson, and Luke Brennan on in place of, I believe, Harrison Smith. Luke Brennan over to Harrison Smith for his first involvement. Involves sending an effort goal bound. Jack Humphreys has taken himself off. So as the squads line up, Hull have Joel Rothery, Kai Gill, Luke Brennan and Harrison Smith, and Leeds have Hayden Lambert, Kai Gill, Seb Copeland and Reece Stewart. All the way out. Penultimate game of the day. We will of course be back tomorrow for the conclusion of the 24-25 Optegra Championship, where the champions will be crowned. The positions will be finalised. We will know who has secured automatic promotion, who will be in that third place playoff fixture, and who will have to fight for their position at the bottom via the Championship playoffs. If this weekend wasn't enough for your Power Chair football fix, then you have just 7 days to wait until the fifth and final weekend of the 24-25 Optegra Premiership. Then June, we have some really exciting fixtures and tournaments. 23rd to the 27th of June, Aspire and West Brom will be travelling to Paris to compete in the first ever iteration of the Fit for Power Chair Football Club World Cup, where they will face opposition from Argentina in Tigres de Pacho, from Australia, Western Sydney Wanderers, from France, Upsilon Chateau-Maubrey, Villeneuve d'Ascq, and then Mexico, Rayados Power Chair, and finally, as Reece Stewart attempts an effort, Uruguay have Club Nacional de Football. So Aspire looking to add a Club World Cup title to their European champion title. And if that wasn't enough powered share football for them, that concludes on the 27th of June, that competition. And on the 29th of June, Aspire and West Brom face off at the 2025 FA Disability Cup at St George's Park, televised on TNT Sport. So they're going to have to ensure that they're back in time, prepared, ready for what is one of our most significant fixtures and events that we support. Not long had the Derby Arena Showcase, the quarter-final and semi-finals of the John Good Group WFA Cup, where we determined this season's finalists. Liam Chadwick all the way through into the Hull and East Yorkshire half. Chadwick down to Kai Gill, desperately trying to pick out Reece Stewart. Not quite having the same success that Jack Humphreys did, but found the gap, fired it into the right-hand post. Really nice opportunity taken. A slight let-off for Hull and East Yorkshire, who kind of just watched that collide with the right-hand post. Beautiful guided touch from Liam Chadwick. Not too dissimilar from the goal that Jack Humphreys scored in the first half. They're putting on a real show here. Once again, Seb Copeland with the assist. As mentioned, not too dissimilar from Jack Humphreys' goals, just kind of masking your intention and guiding it in that right-hand post. 26.5 minutes in. Hull and East Yorkshire 0, Leeds Dynamos 3. And it looks almost inevitable that they'll come away with 3 points. So 6 points from a possible 9 today is not a bad accumulation at all. Liam Chadwick, nice passing football to just bypass Luke Brennan and take him out the game. Kai Gill to take. Can he summon that same sort of accuracy and power that we saw in that earlier game against Nottingham Forest? If he can squeeze the ball between that gap, the intention, but locked up on the front of Reece Stewart's bumper. So didn't get a second opportunity. Looks like this one will be taken by Luke Brennan, the now leading goal scorer of Hull and East Yorkshire. Not before a substitute is signalled by Lewis Harris, the coach of Leeds Dynamos. Jack Humphreys is now adorning the bright yellow goalkeeper jersey. So he will come on in place of Liam Chadwick, the most recent goal scorer. And slight switch tactically. Be interesting to see how this alters things. But a nice cameo from Liam Chadwick nonetheless. So a set piece to be taken by Luke Brennan. Back to Kai Gill. Frustrating for Hull Just that lapse in concentration meant they weren't observing the 3 metre distance needed. 2-on-1 in favour of Leeds Dynamos. Hayden Lambert now in a more advanced attacking role. One that he is familiar with, there's no question about that. If we go back to the 22-23 Optegra Championship, he finished on 19 goals. So he can be prolific, he can be that outlet. Something Jack Humphreys and I discussed on the recap of game week 4, the 2-on-1 Power Chair Football podcast, about how Leeds Dynamos share the responsibility within their squad. They're not reliant on any one single player to be that goal scorer, as Reece Stewart attempts to add a goal to his name. Play continues, advantage. But if you look at their player totals, all of them, and I include Benjamin Robinson in that conversation as well, have contributed, whether that's goal scoring or goal creation. Not many clubs can say that within the National League. All seven of their players. So double substitute for Hull and East Yorkshire. I think Emma Hodson's first cameo of the game. Good to see her out. Luke Brennan coming off as Hayden Lambert attempts to add a goal to his name. Emma Hodson does well to win her side a corner ball. So Aston Walls to take. Just come on. Can he ensure some accuracy? Into Kai Gill. Beautiful goal. Absolutely fantastic for them. They've been on the back foot for the majority of this game, but Kai Gill having a brilliant day, it must be said. The timing, the accuracy. We often say that gaps between defenders and the post can be 34 centimetres, just enough to fit a 33 centimetre diameter ball. And on that occasion, Aston Walls straight from his reintroduction with the assist, and Kai Gill having a superb day. Irrelevant of results, when you just focus on the football, his distribution, his creation, his goal scoring. If they are to ensure their position in the Championship next season, they'll need this level of performance across today and tomorrow. But for me, assuming they're there next season and competing at this top level, Hayden Lambert's going to force it over the line. Really unfortunate for Hull and East Yorkshire straight away after scoring. But for me, I really do feel that Hull and East Yorkshire will be a good team next season. Further context applied. Callum Jefferson, Harrison Smith competing in their first ever season in the National League. But if you was to look at that scoreline, you could be forgiven for thinking it's been incredibly dominant. And whilst you could have that interpretation of the game, I want to commend Hull and East Yorkshire for the performance they've put in. They've tried to switch it up. They've changed things tactically and on a personal perspective. And I still think they're trying to find the best formula, the best lineup, the best approach to games. And once they unlock that, they're going to be a tough team to beat. As Hayden Lambert looks to secure his own brace as Humphreys tries to bypass Aston Walls. Just under 6 minutes remaining. Committing players forward now are Leeds Dynamos. Obviously, Lewis Harris very much central to Leeds Chariots team in the Premiership, where next weekend they will be hoping to be in consideration for that ultimate title. It's a 4-5 horse race. If you thought the Championship campaign was compelling and competitive, the Premiership is significantly more, just due to how many teams are in contention for that title. Obviously West Brom yet to suffer defeat, but are closely chased by Leeds, Chariots, Teesside, Aspire, and slightly outside that pack, Newcastle United Foundation. Roars of jubilation on Court B. I think Manchester United very late on have found an equaliser, 2-0 down to get it back to 2-2. Please disregard that goal. And the ball is squeezed through. Fantastic work from Leeds. Really put the pressure on. I said about Hull experimenting, trialing different tactics and lineups and player positions. The same can very much be applied to Leeds Dynamos. Two and a half minutes to go. Hull and East Yorkshire 1, Leeds Dynamos 5. I would encourage people to disregard that score line. Well, it looks very unfavourably on Hull and East Yorkshire, who've impressed me a lot as Kai Gill doesn't take any prisoners. Wins his side the kick in. Anyone that gets a second, I really do encourage you to go back and watch Hull and East Yorkshire versus Nottingham Forest earlier this morning. It's a rare mistake from Kai Gill just to play it off Hayden Lambert, but their second goal particularly, assisted by Kai Gill, scored by Luke Brennan, was just this inch perfect passage of play that had significance for many reasons, not just the fact it was the winning goal that saw them secure 3 points in what was a 6-point affair against Nottingham Forest. It was the goal that secured Luke Brennan the title of Hull and East Yorkshire's leading goal scorer in the club's history. So huge congratulations to him on that. But taking this game, for instance, they would never be considered favourites or likely to come away with any points. You can see there 2-2 on Court B. A fantastic result for Bournemouth if they can hang on to it. It's into additional time as we're approaching it, and this one be a bitter pill to swallow if United go on to secure all 3 points, having been 2-0 down. Final 20 seconds, Chadwick. Contact in favour of Leeds Dynamos. Final 5 seconds, player of the match. I would say you have to look at potentially Seb Copeland or Jack Humphreys. Both have shown their experience, their quality, and have played a significant role in a significant 3 points. Looks as if it's ended on Court B. 2-2. What a brilliant point for AFC Bournemouth Warriors. Now approaching a minute over the regulation 20 here. Just one more set of games to contest today. On Court A, Teesside Steel versus Dudley. And on Court B, Villa Rockets Lions against GBG Knights. That should be a fantastic game, as GBG Knights still are hoping to lift that trophy come season's end, but they'll need to secure maximum points and hope that Muscle Warriors drop points. That is full time on this one. Hull and East Yorkshire 1, Leeds Dynamos 5. A good game of football. Leeds Dynamos just showing why they're a slight class above their Yorkshire rivals, but take nothing away from the resilience and the togetherness of that whole squad. Thank you all that have joined me. I'll be back for the final game on Court A. Teesside Steel versus West Bromwich Albion Dudley.